Another good question is, who's your favorite comedian?
Oh yeah.
That's a really good
Who
question.
is your
Who
favorite?
is your favorite?
I'll,
Well,
I'll tell you mine if you
okay,
tell me yours.
okay, good, good. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. My
Wait,
favorite.
wait. We have to say it. We have to. I'm going to count to 3, and
Okay.
then we'll say it. I don't know why we're doing this. Like it's a big
Okay.
laugh. Anyway,
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
You're listening to the podcast Clean Comedy Chats with your host Drew Davis. It's gonna be awesome and will change your life forever. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome back to the Clean Comedy Chats with Drew Davis. I'm your host, Drew Davis, and this is the podcast where we bring you a different comedian each week who's part of the Clean Comedy Collective, which is a virtual comedy network of about 200-ish. I think we're at 206 now, comedians. You guys are in a very special episode because this is our first live in-person episode. I'm joined with comedian Jody Carroll. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here in
You,
person.
you are literally here. You're
I asked to come.
She-
You
she-
said, okay, we'll do it virtual. And I said, no, I'm coming to your house.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm coming to your house like right now." You are the second guest I've ever had at this house. So,
Right.
I
Yes.
moved in, so that's excitain.
And it looks good.
Thank you. That's because
Thank you. You pulled out all the stops for us. I see you decorated, and
yeah.
there's hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, drinks, and appetizer. Thanks so much, Drew.
We did a 4-course meal first. We did we did a steak dinner. It was great. But what's really exciting about Jody, aside from being here, is you are here in Nashville for like a week or long. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're in Nashville for, I thought it's about 20 days.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's even longer than I thought.
Yeah. So we thought, I'm here with my daughter. That's why I keep saying we. So my daughter works for Sirius, and there's a Sirius office here. She's based out of LA, but we thought, hey, I love comedy in Nashville, and you love Sirius, and that's in Nashville. Why don't we both go there and work for about 20 days?
Yeah.
So that's why we're here.
One of the reasons I'm excited that you're here in Nashville is that we have a show coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
When people listen to this episode, it's gonna be long since it's done, but we are performing at in Spring Hill at Just Love Coffee.
Yeah, Just Love, and it's called Just Laughs.
Yes, it's Just Laughs.
Yes.
And that'll be a good show. That's one of our monthly Clean Comedy Collective
Yes,
shows.
thank you so much for booking me on that. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm not the booker for that
Oh.
show, but I also love.
Is it Josiah?
Nope. But you're on his show the day with Bryn.
And that's the girl.
Yeah,
that's the
Bryn.
girly show at the Billy Goat.
Yes. Is it
Yes.
a girly show? Oh,
It
this all
is.
girls?
It's all
Okay.
girls. Yeah.
I have done that venue.
You've done the girly show?
Well, there were yes, there were guys on the show too. But no, I remember I did that show because I hosted, and this happens whenever you host a show. Well, I don't want to say all the time, but I feel like it's frequently like people came up to like, "Wow, you could have been one of the real comedians. You're really funny."
That's
Like,
I've never had that.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hosting has all the stories, doesn't it? But I've never had that experience.
It is. It's a special skill set. And but a lot of people don't like hosting, especially once they become more established in their career, because no one ever goes home and says the best part about that show is the host. It's a very thankless job, but it's like very important.
It really is.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into it a little bit. Before I ask you the questions I had in mind to ask you, I wanted to read a quick bio of Jody. Jody Carroll is a comedian based out of Washington. She has a dry bar special and is featured in the Clarkson show. I'm so excited to talk about that. Jody tours in the Moms Unhinged troupe and is a house comic for Barks Entertainment, and is a feature of many showcases around the world, featuring including Stand Up New York, the comic strip, and most recently, as in like last night, I think, most recently, Zany's Nashville.
Night.
So yeah, that was cool. We're gonna talk about that in a second, but first, this is kind of the question I always ask the people in this. Beyond the bio.
Right.
Who is Jody Carroll?
Yes, who is Jody Carroll? And I thought about this, and recently I've kind of identified myself as a grandma. So I'm a new grandma. I have 2 grandbabies, and so yeah, who is Jody Carroll?
How does that feel to say I'm a grandma? Some people.
It doesn't feel good, Drew.
So, yeah, I was like, not maybe.
It doesn't feel that good. I wasn't ready for it. But now I am. It took a little bit of an adjustment, but now one is almost 2 years old, and one is about 6 months. And They're so cute. They're both boys,
Right.
and I love them. And I realize I love them so much because they love me.
That's good.
They think I'm fun. They adore me. So that makes me like being a grandma because my audience is great.
Right. You're
I mean,
always grandparents are usually superstars. Like you're people are always like, we're
yeah,
always
and
fans of
I
grandparents.
had no idea. I thought, I really have to win them over, but I I don't have to win them over. They just love me for me, and I really like that. So that's a big part of my identity right
Yeah.
now.
And as well it should be.
I have two other kids besides my daughter who has the 2-year-old, and then before the other baby was born from my son, um, we were all saying, "Are you shocked at how much you love this little creature?" And we all were so surprised at how much we loved this new baby in our life. It was so crazy. I had no idea how much we would love a little grandbaby, but they're so darn cute. Both of them are so cute.
That's awesome.
So that's a big part of it. And then, before I was a grandparent, when people would ask, well, who are you? What that same
Yeah.
question you asked, it's the funniest question to me because I feel like I was raised in that time period, and maybe other people can relate to this that aren't my age, but you know, you're always trying to be who everyone else wants you to be. And you're this person with one person, you're another personality with another person. And so I'm kind of like, I don't know who my authentic self is.
Right.
I never got to discover that. I was always trying to be who my parents wanted to be, or my teachers, or my coaches, or,
Yeah.
you know, so and even who my kids wanted me to be. You could tell that you can tell when you're a parent, your kids want you to be a certain way. You're even trying to kiss up to them
Mhm.
sometimes. So, back to the whole parenting thing. But yeah, it is hard to really seek out that authentic self, and I think comedy's been, a really good exercise for that.
That's awesome. That's good. I can see and by the way, that is one of the reasons I ask that question every time is because I feel like often we are always being someone or who we think we need to be,
Mhm.
who we think people want us to be,
Right.
and rarely is it like who do I actually want to be or who am I actually, So
Right.
that's
Like, even now, I'm thinking, "Who does Drew want me to be?"
right,
And I'm
absolutely.
trying to live up to that expectation.
And I got to tell you, you're failing completely. It's just
I
it's
know.
not looking good.
And I'm used to that.
That's okay.
That's how it's gone.
But it is interesting because comedy I feel like comedy's helped me kind of reclaim power over some of my own insecurities as I've, with
Yes.
the routines and you make something beautiful with the laughing of like self-deprecating humor, but it comes
Right.
but also sometimes if you're not
So
careful,
true.
comedy like amplifies that because like, well, who does the audience want me to be? Who does the booker want me
Mhm.
to be? Who do the other comedians want me to be? Who should I be to be a good comedian?
It's
So
true.
I'm glad that
That's a
comedy's
good
helped you.
point because I do think about that. Who do these comedians want me to be?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. But year after year, set after set, you're just digging deeper in who your authentic self is. And what you realize from the crowd is that they don't really want you to be any certain personality, but they want to put you in a
Yes.
box. So you do need to identify, who you are and what kind of box you're going to fit in, because that's kind of their first
Yeah.
thing is she dirty? Is she clean? Is she Southern? Is she from New York? Is she,
Yeah.
is she
It's
old? Is she young? They want to figure all that stuff out.
and sometimes we go into it in a especially when we first start in comedy, we go into it like this is who I want to be, or this is who I think is funny, and maybe it's not like it's not our authentic self. I know we've talked
Right.
about being authentic too much already, but it's like it's like in the audience, like if it's too far off, the audience can tell, and that makes it not funny.
And I think everyone does start out
Mhm.
imitating their heroes or their influences and
Absolutely.
stuff. And I read somewhere that that's an okay place to start. I mean,
Mhm.
you're kind of lost when you're first starting comedy anyway. So it is kind of nice to have at least some kind of an idea of who you like and
Yeah.
what your voice is going to be and all of that. But then I've heard that people just veer away from that and they get their own thing, and then it's just the sky's the limit. I mean, once you find your own unique voice, people say that, I don't think I'm there yet, so
Yeah.
I can't really say it from personal experience, but
I was about to ask if
yeah,
you found your unique voice, or if you're in the are you closer to finding
I
it
think
now
I'm
than
a little
before?
closer.
What's
You are
so
too, right? I
yeah.
mean, you
I
really feel that way.
I think it comes with the more you just the longer you do it, and the more, and as you're right, you start learning things about yourself. You start learning what works with the audience. You also start learning what you like what jokes bring you joy, and like this is what I want to lean
Yes.
into. But here's the interesting part. Oh, I should ask, how long have you been doing comedy?
7 years,
7 years.
almost
So
exactly.
okay, very cool. I feel like my voice has changed. So I'm probably like 12, 13 ish.
Yeah.
And I feel like at some point my voice has changed because I've
Yeah.
grown as a person. Also, like it was like I started in my early 20s, and now I'm in my like late
Mhm.
30s, and like so like there's
You're
a big
so much older
there's a
now,
big
Drew. You're so
difference.
much
But
older and wiser.
well, there's just like I don't know about wiser,
But yeah, there's a change in
yeah,
your life,
and
and
so and then that change, so your authentic self changes as you develop too. So just
that's
when you're figuring it out, you're
you
like,
have to switch.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
But well,
Yay.
tell me about Zanies. So you got to perform at Zanies here in Nashville last
Ye
night. First
yes.
time ever. You were on. Was it the
So
Nateland show?
I think a year and a half ago, I did Zany's. I did Nateland Good,
Okay.
Clean, Funny.
Yeah.
So I've done it once before, and then I did the Monday night New Material Monday.
Very
But
cool.
last night I didn't do New Material Monday. I just did Good, Clean, Funny, and it was great.
Awesome.
It was so fun. I mean, that's just a good energy to be around in the green room, and all the
Absolutely.
comics that are all involved with Nate Land Productions. They're all so nice
Yeah.
and encouraging, and yeah, it's just a positive room, positive green room, positive crowd.
Oh, that's good.
Some people in the crowd that go to those Monday night Nate Land clean shows. Someone told me that some of them come every Monday.
Right.
They just really crave that clean, wholesome comedy, and
And
they come out and check it out.
I love that they're there every Monday. Those are my favorite people to do comedy for, or is the people that just like have a love for comedy. They know it, and they just
And they
yeah,
understand
it
what.
doesn't matter who's up there, but I mean, as long as they're funny and they just out there to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, it's true. It was a great crowd.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I just have to say, Drew, that this is kind of why I appreciate your podcast and everything like that, because part of the fun for me in comedy is being around other comics and
Absolutely.
talking about comedy. And sometimes it can be, an individual sport.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel kind of isolated. So I just appreciate, being able to talk about comedy.
Yeah,
Whenever I get the chance, it's just so
and
fun.
when you're around your non-comedian friends, it's really weird to talk about comedy.
That was
Yes.
the biggest shock when I started
Yeah.
comedy. I think I've said this before, but I just thought everyone was going to be so interested and want to hear all about it.
And they
And
so much are not. They're
that was such a surprise to me.
yep.
Oh my gosh.
I've learned when people like, so when I'll go into work on Monday after a weekend gigs and they're like,
Yeah.
"How was your gig?" I've learned that the best way is like, "It was great," and just leave it
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah. It
because
is so refreshing to talk to other
yeah,
comedians. It's a gift. And we spent some time with do you know Rob Wentz and Ryan
yes,
McComb?
yes,
So
they're wonderful.
they're from Pacific Northwest. So I was a comedian with them in Spokane for a while, and we got to spend the afternoon with them when we first got here in
Yeah,
Nashville, and it was just so fun. It's just like, wow, this is really refreshing just to talk shop.
absolutely. Let's talk about the Moms Unhinged group.
Oh,
I saw that you did a show recently with Emily Holden, and I've
yes,
worked with her before.
she's fantastic.
And I feel like I've worked with a lot of unhinged moms,
Yeah,
or at least the folks that are on the tour. So
That's what I say when I'm a host. I say, "Are you unhinged?" Everyone else goes out and goes, "Are you unhinged?"
yeah, so no, the real unhinged ones, it's much more calmer. They're
Yeah,
broken.
I do. I go, "Are we unhinged?" And they're just like, "Yes."
Yes.
The Moms Unhinged shows, I mean, you can imagine they are a dream come true. I mean, they are so fun. The crowds are insane. They're usually anywhere between like 200 to 500 women, mostly
Yeah.
women, and they're always in theaters. They're always in beautiful venues. The woman who runs it, her name is Andrea, and Andrea Ball, and she is an incredible businesswoman. She has a really, really good business sense. So
Yeah.
she has just produced amazing shows. And so the one funny thing about it is the green room is very, very different than a normal green room.
Ooh, how so?
There's like 3 or 4 women back there, middle-aged women, and we're all having different issues. Someone's got the
Mhm.
fan going with the hot flashes. Someone's trying to tell you, ask you how her outfit looks, and then we're sharing shoes and makeup and it and hair curlers, and someone's braiding someone else's hair, and I mean, it's just a girly show in the
Yeah.
green room, which was a big surprise. I just started Moms Unhinged a couple years ago. So, I mean, 5 years in, and then, just having
Yeah.
all these green room experiences with the bros
Right. I was gonna say that's so
at the
different.
clubs,
Yeah.
and they're dirty, and then the bathrooms and all this stuff. And then you have these green room experiences in these beautiful theaters. And,
Oh,
it really switched. And I was talking to my daughter Jessie about this today is, the mom shows came along just about the same time, you can probably relate to this, as it the experience I was having personally was making a switch
mhm.
from, when you first start comedy, you're kind of like, look what I can do. I can do this. And you're getting really jazzed up and joyful from, wow, I'm accomplishing something. I'm doing comedy. I'm doing stand-up comedy. And then just about the time when I started the mom shows, it was starting to switch where it was like, wow, look how happy these people are. So your joy switches from, oh, the spotlight's on me
Yes.
to, oh, the spotlight on watching these women walk out of the venue so happy, hugging each
Yeah.
other, and just saying things like, you've heard the stories like, oh gosh, I just went through a divorce, so this was
Mhm.
really good for me, those kinds of stories. But in general, just saying, I really needed that.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't laughed like that in a long time. I really needed that. And so it was kind of interesting that those two things were happening at the same time, because it just
Absolutely.
kind of was super intense with the mom shows, seeing all those women. And I was like, oh, this is what's happening right now. I'm switching that spotlight from me to the crowd, to these individual people that need to laugh,
Yeah. And
you
you're
know?
so right. There is a switch there. There is,
Yeah,
and it is wonderful now to see when and I think it's because like you
that's
at
been,
some point like I know my stuff is good.
yeah, it's
A
true.
lot of
Yeah,
times
you get really confident.
when we start off, we're kind of looking for validation for our jokes. We're like, is this funny? They say that's a big transition for comedians is when your delivery you start off being like every joke you give, it's kind of like you're asking the audience, is this funny? But then
I still
you
am
get
doing that.
honestly same. But then
This is
like
funny. No.
so, and then
Mm-mm.
like you see the famous like the real big time comedians and the confidence is like because they're
Yeah,
coming
it's so
out and they're
good.
just like this is funny, you're welcome kind of thing. And
Yes.
but I think maybe but then once you get past that or you can start kind of noticing like, oh, look at the fun that these people are having.
Yes.
Um uh,
That's been really, really cool to start concentrating on the individuals, and even saying a prayer before. I know a couple comedians will say, prayers like, you know, God, thank you for being with me during the show, and please just bless every person in the crowd tonight, that they would have a good time and that they would feel something, some kind of
yeah.
joy, or, healing, or whatever they need to feel tonight.
Um,
But I love what you said about being so confident.
mhm.
I was with a comedian recently, and I said, "Did you get nervous about this show?" And then I stopped myself mid sentence and I said, "You probably didn't get nervous because you probably thought they were lucky to have you." And he said, "That's exactly what I was thinking." And I thought, "Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool." And he should be thinking that, because it's like you said, you're welcome.
Yeah.
This is really good material, and I've worked really
Yeah.
hard, and you're welcome. And that was kind of inspiring to hear him say that too.
Yeah.
So the confidence is such a good, it's it's not a bad thing to be really, really confident. Like that is a good thing.
Absolutely. In addition to the Moms Unhinged group, you also have a dry bar special.
I filmed it almost exactly a year ago,
Oh, okay.
and that was a blast. And it was my Super Bowl,
I love that.
because I started because of Dry Bar, because of comedians I saw on Dry Bar. So that was just such a big moment for me, and I loved it so much, and it did go really well. Um, but yeah, it's not out yet.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, some people have said a year, some people have said 2 years. Um, I'm not I'm
So
not
did they,
crazy, like,
they don't tell
anxious
you like
about.
it's coming out this
They
date?
will tell you, but I think more so when it's a month away.
Right, that makes sense.
Um, but yeah, they're so wonderful there, and
So yeah, tell us about
well-oiled
your like
machine.
us about your experience filming a dry bar special. And you probably know this if you're listening to this podcast because you probably like clean comedy. A dry bar is a comedy specials exclusively for clean comedy. They started. I mean, I noticed them in like almost like during or pre-COVID.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
pre-COVID, I'm
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
and yeah, so it's for a lot of clean comedians, it's a big deal to get a dry bar special. And what's really interesting about dry bar is the variety of comedian specials on it. That
And there's a lot of comedians, well, a few comedians on Dry Bar that have done several
yep,
specials. So, that's, I guess, something to work toward now again is to have another one.
yes, to do a sequel. We all love a
Yeah.
good sequel.
All right.
So, well, how was your dry bar special? Like the process of it and the recording and the
It
performing and
was a
everything.
big, that was the end goal for me. And then during that, after I got an agent during COVID, and he's good friends with the
Mhm.
Dry Bar people. So he was able to, submit a video for me, and luckily I got booked on a Dry Bar special, and it went great. And then during that process I was like, wow, I'm about to accomplish this goal. So, I had to make a couple more goals for myself. So that was
Yeah, it's like
interesting
you
during the.
peaked. It's like, what do you do
Yeah.
now?
So so I'm not only like working on the Dry Bar special, but you're also kind of like thinking to yourself, "Oh, I'm filming a special. I need more material
Yep,
for after this comes out." So that kind of messes with you, and then also that you need a couple more goals to shoot
right.
for. So
Do you still do like do you did once after your dry bar special, did you think like I'm gonna stop doing this material forever? Do you still like bring it like in
I
shows
kind
and
of
stuff?
thought I would probably stop doing it forever, but
Mhm.
the Dry Bar special's not out yet, so
Right.
I'm still
It's
doing Dry Bar
still do it.
material
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to. I do have some new ideas about grandparenting. That's all brand new stuff since
You're ready
since
for
I.
the you're ready for the grandmom
Yeah, yeah,
grandma's unhinged
grandmom's
story.
unhinged.
That's right.
Exactly. That's a good thought.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I mean, it was very nerve-wracking, and now I'm not nervous for anything. I mean, you could put me on the Tonight Show and I would not be rattled. Like
It's
that
funny
was.
because we actually
Yeah. Oh,
called me today and they said after
I
this
had a
podcast, figure it out.
feeling. Jimmy Fallon, come on
Yep.
it. I had a feeling. I brought a change of clothes and new boots so I can change real quick. Now I don't get nervous for anything because it's not Dry Bar.
Yeah, that's
You
awesome.
know, so that's been a really good tool to have. I mean, I get a little bit like last night, the closer it came to my set at Zany's, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm getting a little jittery, and which is good. I want to be nervous. I want to have a little nerves. I want to be up for it. So it is good, but I'm not so out of my mind nervous for anything.
Right. And I think that's good too, because then when you're not so out of your mind nervous, you can like take a moment, like enjoy the moment that you're in.
Exactly.
Sometimes you get nervous and then you work through it, and then later you're like, oh, that was really cool. But it is
Yeah.
nice to
But
just
I
like,
didn't have any fun up there
so,
because you're too nervous.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Having a little bit less nerves makes you just have a blast up on stage.
Yeah.
So every experience you have is going to make you more and more confident. And someone told me that about stand-up comedy is that like you're going to learn something from every single experience,
Yes.
mostly from your failures. You're going to learn something. And I'm like, well, I do learn something from every weird situation or whatever, but that weird situation doesn't come up again.
Right, yeah.
It's another weird situation.
So there's always a new weird one that
There's
comes
always a new weird situation. It's like I keep having to learn different lessons.
Yes.
You know, I know exactly what to do when someone breaks a glass and at the same time a couple is fighting. Now, when's that situation ever going to happen again? You know what I mean? It has to be the exact
Yeah.
same.
I had a last weekend, there was a proposal right before my show. Like, right before I went up, the host had to, like
Oh no.
and all I could think of during the whole time was like, "I hope she says yes, because otherwise"
Someone is that big of a fan of you, Drew, that they want to do a proposal at your show?
I would love for that to be the case. I do not think anyone at that show knew who I was. So, but I'm gonna
I
that
like
sounds so
that
much better.
version.
Yeah. So
Wow.
speaking of big fans, you were on a show with someone who I'm a big fan. You were on the Kelly
You
Clarkson
love Kelly
show.
Clarkson?
I do. In college, one of her CDs, it might have been called "My Life Would or My Life Would Suck Without You." Maybe that was the name of the song. A big that
Okay.
well, whatever. I feel like it was a big CD. I don't remember the name of it, and it might have been
My life was what is it?
that's what
I think I know it.
that
Oh,
song.
it's my life. It is my
Whole
life would suck
that whole
without you.
album
That is what
got
it
me
is.
through a breakup. Like,
Oh.
and because if you listen to it to front to end, and you also are in that headspace where you're making anything make sense, it seems like that person is going through a breakup and overcoming it at the end. Like, if I
Okay.
listen to every song, and I remember feeling that way. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't break it down and explain it to you any more than that now. But like, anyway,
But Kelly Clarkson lives in
yeah,
your
she
soul.
helped me through a big time in college. So,
Wow.
but anyway, so yeah, next time you're talking to her, let her know.
I'll definitely let her know. She'll be happy to hear it.
Yeah. So how did
I think you've helped her through some things
maybe
with your comedy.
I like to think so. Yeah,
Some of your jokes have really,
made a difference.
yes,
Yeah,
really
it paid
been
it forward.
her healing journey.
So yeah. So how was it
So
you
that
had
was during COVID, and we didn't have anything to do as stand-ups, right? So I started doing videos as everyone else did, and it was parodies of decorating and kind of interior design and stuff. It was a parody of that, and my house was a mess. So I would just sort of use these buzzwords in interior design and then just show, you know, a scene of just a terrible mess.
yeah.
And so it got a lot of views, and then and someone on the Kelly Clarkson production team saw it, and so
They just reached out to
so
you.
they reached out, but it's kind of it was it's a segment called What I'm Liking. And so the next week or the next day I saw the segment of What I'm Liking from, in this
Yeah.
on the show. And it was a guy who has a squirrel living in his pickup truck. So I gotta tell you, it's a big deal. My segment is a big deal on that show.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But it was really fun, and it was over Zoom. It was weird because it was at my house where we were living, and um they get on Zoom to, kind of just before the show to see that you're wearing the right thing and everything. And one of the producers
How
said,
awkward would like
yeah, you
could you
gotta
go change?
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened,
We're
but
like, actually, Kelly Clarkson has that same outfit. We're gonna need you to.
we're wearing the same thing. They said, "Can you pick up the mess behind you?" And I said, "Well, that's not my brand." And so my house was super clean during the Zoom, and it all looks like a phony. Talk about authentic self. Oh my
That's just-
gosh. It's like, no, it's supposed to be a mess.
Yeah. Well, so you're on your website. Your like slogan is like clean comedy and messy car.
Yeah, I do have a couple jokes about kids sports. So it's about carpooling and stuff like that. So I
Right.
just thought, oh yeah, it just reminds me of how messy my car. And I did have a joke about a messy car. I was telling Jessie today that my daughter that I don't think that I mean when I really looked at the mess in my car, I started getting mad. Oh, these kids are such a mess. They leave all this stuff. And I looked at all the stuff and it was actually my stuff. It was all my mess. And so my car is still messy, even with my kids moved out of the house.
Right.
It's
You
still a mess.
can't blame them anymore. No, it's the grandkids' fault now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Hopefully I can blame them. I'm always looking for someone to blame.
Right. That'll make them love you.
I don't want to take the blame.
Uh,
But as a comedian, we're always in our car.
Absolutely.
So as a comedian, it's even getting messier. Like there's Diet Cokes and candy bars and notebooks and change of clothes.
Anything you could possibly need,
Yes.
because you never know when you're gonna need it.
Yeah. The car is your
Yeah.
biggest a good tool for that.
I have a theory. It's unscientifically proven.
Okay.
So it's just Drew's
I'll see if it's
theory.
right.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Let me know if this is right, Jody. But I don't know if I trust people with clean cars as
Oh,
much,
I
and it's trust isn't the okay. If we're trust isn't the right word, respect is the word I should use.
yeah.
Because like if you have enough time to clean your car,
Yeah.
what else could you be doing? Right?
It's a really good theory.
Like comics are all go 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 all the time. That's
Yeah.
why they have such a messy car. People with kids, you got to take care of your kids all the time. I mean, even like if you have a very stressful, busy job, your car is probably messy.
Yeah.
Um,
I worked as an architect before I was a comedian, and the architects with the messy desks, they were the best
yeah,
architects.
because who has time to clean your desk
Right.
when
They
you're
were
an
being
architect?
creative.
Yeah,
The clean desks, no. I'm right there with you.
yeah,
And raising kids, when we had young kids and I would go to someone else's house for a play date or whatever, and their house was clean, I was like, mm-mm,
yeah,
this is a psychotic woman.
yeah.
I don't like her. I feel sorry for
There's
her kids.
bodies in the basement.
Yeah, so it's the same thing. I
Yeah,
didn't trust her. It's the same thing as the car. It was more so I would think about that with a house.
hmm
But yeah, that you say a car, that works too.
yeah.
So
I
I
think that's
think
it.
you're
Yeah.
I absolutely right.
Good. I'm glad
That's
I was
it.
right on that. Now, do you only do clean comedy or do you do
Yes.
okay? And then do you also only do or do you only like go on clean shows or do you just
No.
okay?
No, I don't only go on. That's a good question. I haven't really thought of that. But no, I
Because
guess it
I've
kind
learned
of
there's
naturally happens that way if I think about it, but the Moms Unhinged shows are not clean.
mhm,
And I've opened for a couple people that are not clean. Pete Lee
mhm,
recently. Um, but yeah, once I started doing comedy, I was doing uh, a little bit of dirty
yeah,
stuff, and then I started to like it, and then I started to realize I could do it,
hmm
and I thought, okay, well, if this is something I'm going to do for a long time, and I'm really going to do it, I want I want my kids and my parents and my husband to be really proud of it. And I want God to be along in the journey and I want him to be happy with what I'm doing too. So I had enough clean material too that I was like, wow, I can do either one. And I just made a decision.
yeah,
It's going to be all clean. And that's kind of the time when I was I was looking at other comedians and I loved Jerry Seinfeld and I loved Rita Rudner and all the comedians I felt drawn to, they were all clean.
yeah.
So, it's kind of like, oh, I get it. I could do this. Ryan Hamilton?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, and he's one of the first ones I was like, wow, this is super clean and this is about, hot air balloons and
right.
living in New York City and I was like, wow, that I could do that. That's more interesting to
Yeah,
me,
I agree.
and it fits with my family and my values, and it fits with my faith journey. And so, and it just feels now it's
Mhm.
like you said, now it's in style,
Yeah,
like it's hip to be clean now,
yeah.
thanks to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you. No, no, no,
I
no.
mean, really, it's so cool. Um, that's a huge movement in comedy right now um that it's so kind of exciting to be clean.
It's interesting. We noticed it when we first started doing shows, and honestly, I wish there was like a cooler reason why the Clean Comedy Collective actually started, but this is the real reason.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh,
I'm
I don't know.
I moved back to Nashville, which I was from here. I started doing comedy, but then I
Yeah.
moved here to do full-time comedy. And then I wanted to start producing shows, but I didn't want to step on anyone's toes because I'm very anti-confrontational. And I
Mhm.
saw that, and since I work mostly clean, I saw there was no like clean comedy shows happening, and
Yeah.
so I was like, I'll start.
This could be my own
I'll
lane.
start in the lane, and I won't annoy anyone at all, you know.
Yeah.
And then other people had,
What a
and
blessing.
then that's how we started. So it was just because it was like, oh, let's just do comedy shows, you know.
I don't want to step on toes, so I'm going to make it all clean.
Yep, and because at the time
Great
that was
formula.
that was a we started with, we had a very obscure, our first show, we had we had a coffee shop show, which we still have. We had a juice bar open mic, and we had a show
Yeah.
at a winery, and that was where we started. It was like, and all
That
those
is so
are places
cool.
that, you know, you, in those particular venues, except for maybe the juice bar, you couldn't do dirty there.
Yeah.
It was a weird juice bar that it. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
Yes.
Where like they worked at the
I didn't watch the whole thing though, but
like
yeah.
at one point they're working at the car wash, but it's a front for a drug
Yes, yes,
operation.
I knew about
I
that.
think that was the. I think
Oh,
we were.
but
But
they wanted clean?
we wanted an open mic, and
Oh, okay, okay.
so, I think it was great
They
though.
probably didn't care what you were
They did
doing.
not care whatsoever, and he often would just go do his job. I don't know.
That's funny that you're not marching in going, I want to do clean comedy. You're marching in going, what is something that no one else is doing because I don't want to be a total, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to be mad at me.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it
Oh,
made sense because I've always been it's just I've told people I don't have the face for not clean comedy. Like when I say crass jokes, I can visibly see women get uncomfortable. So like I learned that growing up in comedy. Like I every now, because I for a while was like, what's the secret to being funny? And I would see my friends be really dirty, and I was like, there was I
right.
remember in my early 20s, I was like, well, maybe I need to write a really dirty set. I did
Yes.
it for one open mic. It did not go well.
Wha-
Um, and then when I sat down,
Don't they see like
yeah,
the contrast, or
they
they don't see the irony in it or
it was, yeah,
anything?
well, it was, I was so
Or do they look
so
they're
yeah,
like, you're creeping me out.
yeah, that's what it is. That is
Okay.
you just when I teach comedy students, I tell them like you gotta understand what you look like, and some
It
people
is
you
true.
can't say that. So like it's like if you
Right.
say that, women will be uncomfortable. So you're here in Nashville for. I mean, at this point, you might as well just move here. You guys are 20
That's
days.
what I said.
Yeah,
I'm getting a southern accent, Drew. I'm telling
oh,
you.
don't do that. Do your
Oh my gosh, it's hard not to.
it
I
does.
mean, the waiters and waitresses are so sweet. They come to our table. How y'all doing? Did y'all love it? And we just want to say yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey,
More gravy, more gravy.
lean into it and really confuse your friends when you go back to Washington. Well, we're gonna ask you some audience questions. So here's the way it works. A bunch of random people through Facebook, Threads, and what's the other one? Instagram. When I reached out and said like ask questions to comedians,
Oh, cool.
they shared some answers. Some of them are other comedians, some of them are random people, and some of them are my friends who aren't comedians. And so basically, I
Are
have.
any of them your mom?
My mom did not get this message.
She-
We can call her up and see. That would be so weird. Especially since she was like, "You should call me today." I was like, "I don't know." I didn't phrase it like that. I said, "I'll call you Thursday."
So cute.
Anyway, so you give me a number 1 to 30, and then I that will dictate which
Oh,
question I'm
fun.
asking you.
Okay, 4.
4. You know, 4 is my lucky number.
Same with us.
That's so cool.
Section 4.
Yeah. Okay, so this one comes from Threads, which means it's gonna be a stranger. Um from Patrick McKinstry. Yeah,
Italian?
yeah. Maybe a relative. And the question is,
Patrick the leprechaun.
this is fun
What color?
because
What shade of green do you like the best?
that's February themed. So if this is awkward because it's like the opposite of literally what we're doing right now, but if you had to ask a podcast guest any question, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, I always have fake podcast sessions in my car.
I love that because I've done that before. I did real podcast sessions.
I love podcasts. I like being the guest, so I wouldn't probably ask any questions. But let's
You'd
see.
be like, do you have any questions
Do you
for
think
me?
do you think I look good? Which shoes should I wear? No, a podcast question I think would be I've heard some good ones. There's a podcast question that Dana Carvey always asks, and he says, "What was your favorite toy as a child growing up?
Mm.
Like, was it your bike? Was it a slinky? Was it Stretch Armstrong.
Which that was a good one.
Yeah.
A problem with Stretch Armstrong was once they got old, like, which I guess kind of
They
real
kind of got brittle, right?
brittle, or like the goo came out. Like
Oh,
it's just So
I
that was
think you were getting into it a little much.
I was stretching it too
What
much.
were you stretching?
Maybe that was
This
maybe.
is a clean podcast.
Well, yeah, you're right. What if I thought that was every single Stretch Armstrong and it was just my Stretch Armstrong? That would be uncomfortable.
Another good question is, who's your favorite comedian?
Oh yeah.
That's a really good
Who
question.
is your
Who
favorite?
is your favorite?
I'll,
Well,
I'll tell you mine if you
okay.
tell me yours.
Okay, good. Good. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. My favorite.
Wait. We have to say it. We have to.
Okay.
I'm going to count to 3, and
Okay.
then we'll say it. I don't know why we're doing this. Like it's a big
Okay.
laugh. Anyway.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Martin
Jim
Short.
Gaffigan. Oh, Martin Short's
Good
good.
one.
Yeah.
Jim
Cool.
Gaffigan's good one.
I
My
am.
favorite is Leanne Morgan right now, but I have, her voice is in my head a little bit, so I have to like calm down and not.
She has something coming out on Netflix soon, like maybe a movie or something.
She
I literally just saw like a.
she has already had a TV show and watched all that, and then it's been renewed for a second season.
That's what I saw then.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I might have to go watch.
But Martin Short is not a stand-up, but he's still my favorite. One of my favorite
I
comedians.
forget that he's not, but he is hysterical.
He's hysterical.
And then
Have you seen Jiminy Glick? His
No,
alter ego, Jiminy
no, I
Glick.
haven't.
Oh, I
Well,
think you're gonna text me tomorrow and say thank you so much for telling me about Jiminy Glick, because my life is now I'm in a different world. I'm on a different planet.
I think you're right.
I'll send you a link to it. Okay.
And I'll be like, well, my face is melted with awesomeness now. So.
It's the biggest gift I can give anybody is Martin Short as Jiminy Glick. You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, 1 through 30, but not 4. What if you're just like, let's just do that question
Okay.
again?
Let's do that question again. I love that question. It's my favorite question. Okay. Let's do 20.
20. All right. That one is here. This is from Joe Whitey, who's also a comedian in the Clean Comedy Collective from Facebook. I don't think it really matters to you where I got it, but in case you're wondering, was that Threads, Instagram, or Facebook? It was Facebook. What would you caution new comedians against doing?
Ooh, good question. New comedians against doing.
That was a weird way to say.
Creepy guy comes out.
I
There's
got
so much. I mean, I wouldn't ask another comedian how do you think I did? I wouldn't ask that. Don't give any comedians ideas for their jokes. They don't like that. I don't really mind it.
There's a formula of how to give a good suggestion, and it starts with, "Hey, can I give you a suggestion?"
Yeah, and that's not people don't like that either.
But then they'll say no, and then that ends the conversation, and you're not as.
It's still a little weird for you to come up and say, "Can I give you a suggestion?"
Also,
I don't know.
What'd you think of my first set I ever did?
Yeah,
that I just did.
A new comedian. I would say don't be too worried about getting to every open mic that you can get to. Like, don't put pressure on yourself that that's the way that everything's going to happen for you, is going to, as everyone says, go to as many open mics as you can. Well, sometimes you're not getting the right feedback at those open mics, whether it's not your crowd or there's no crowd. It's really hard as a new comedian not to want to try to impress other comedians. So you'll be doing jokes, you'll kind of write your jokes or deliver your jokes so that the other comedians are laughing. But so I think that's a danger in an open mic, is that you tend to try to entertain the other comedians, so you're not really getting a good read on what's going to work in an authentic or a real crowd. And then for a new comedian, the actual real truthful answer to this question, which everyone's going to agree on 100% is that you have to have social media presence.
Yeah.
So
We hate it, but it's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. Yeah, you have to have clips. Get something else going. Just talk in your car once a day, or and I know that sounds like just talk in your car once a day. That's what you have to do. But literally, that's what you have to do. That's not an exaggeration or making fun of it. That's the reality of it. It could be just that, or making your coffee every day, and things like that. And
Yeah, a lot of people,
don't overcomplicate it.
yeah,
You know.
just whatever comes natural.
Mhm.
A lot of people, often not comedians, are like, "Oh, why does every comedian have a podcast?" So that we can have something that we can clip and share
It's such a
every
good
day.
point. I
Yeah.
was thinking of Drew, I was thinking of doing a fake podcast, like just getting one of these and then having someone and then pretend like I'm talking to someone, and then I just come up with these fun answers, or and they don't even need to hear the question, but then I just clip the.
Gosh, I love that, because then it would it would be like, if it got like really big and successful, everyone would be like, "Where do you find this podcast?" Where, like, everyone, it would like, the appeal would be like, "It's not a real podcast, but we wish it was." And then that's when you create the real podcast.
Okay, Drew,
There
you're
we
kind of
there we
motivating me to do it.
do it.
Here's the other thing I thought of that's kind of strategic and weaselly in a way.
I love it. Those
And
are my
you can you can take this idea.
I love strategic weasel
Okay,
ideas.
this is it. I think you're gonna like it.
Okay.
Okay, you direct, orchestrate, you produce a crowd work show, but you think of the crowd work questions beforehand. You design, everyone. It's a scripted crowd work show.
Okay.
And so then you get the clips for the how all the clips are crowd work now.
Mhm.
So you get the clips from this show, and then you leak it that it was a fake crowd work show.
Oh my
And
god.
that's what makes it go viral, is that
Right.
people are hating on you because it's not real.
I couldn't handle the hatred. Even if I orchestrated it, I'd still like not be able to go to bed.
Because
ever.
you wouldn't feel like a real comedian. But
I would.
you have to admit
That is a great idea.
that is a good
That
way
is
to
a
go
great.
viral.
I used to know a couple comedians that would do something similar, where they'd create fake social media beef and then just blast each other
Oh, it's
off.
just along the same lines.
It's,
It's
yeah.
not along the
So
same lines.
your idea is better though.
Thank you.
So,
My idea takes more work, so I don't know.
yeah, that's true. The quota, I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, they just have two people to
Yeah.
deal with.
So let's do one more random person's question. 1 through 30, not 4 or 20.
Okay, let's do 30.
All right, let's see what we have. This comes from Chris Izzy on Facebook. He's another Clean Comedy Collective comedian.
Oh, wow.
And his this is similar to one of the earlier questions. We're just getting advice from Jody, is what we're getting today.
And I love giving advice.
Perfect. I love it. What is your
My daughter Jessie, she knows.
She's like, "You give me all too much advice."
Jessie might have a good answer for this one.
Okay. What is your advice to new comics about how to network?
What is your advice to new comics on how to network? Jody Carroll.
And we'll tell you, crowd, because yeah, how to network.
I mean, hanging out at the clubs is the best thing. Go to other people's shows.
Mm-hmm.
Go to other people's shows. You cannot that is really not talked about very much.
Yeah.
And I also think that you might not think it's making a difference, but it will have a huge impact. People notice when you're at other people's shows. Even if you don't know anyone's shows, like even if you're going to see the comedian in the show, even if you know the booker, even if you know the producer, you don't have to know all three of them, and you don't have to know the main guy,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's just someone in the show. I mean, it all, because they might have a connection to another show.
Yep.
But going to the actual show, showing up at the venue, driving to the venue, showing up, going, that's a great way, I feel. And liking other people's social media, liking and commenting on other people's social media. Is that what you were going to say? No.
No, but that's good as well.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking about going to other people's shows and doing it in a way where it's like not being the guy who's like, "I'm just here because I want to do time." or like you genuinely go to
Yes.
support them. And I know in the back of all of our heads as a comedians, we do just want to be on every single show.
That's true.
But you have to I think for me, the way I handle it, because yes, any show I show up, if they were like, "Hey, would you want to perform?" The answer is always yes. But the way I look at it is two things can be true at once.
But
I
not on that
Yeah,
show.
but I want
Do they think you want to perform on that
well,
show?
there's I mean, there's the heart of like, oh, they always, they
You
would
mean
like to
like,
perform.
oh, if if I'm
Yeah,
here,
like
if there's never go to the green room. When you go to the
oh,
shows,
absolutely.
never go to the
Yeah.
green room. Another thing, if you can, buy your own ticket. Don't ask to go to the show for free.
Right.
Buy your own ticket. And then if you can, bring a bring a friend or someone who's not involved in comedy. So you're kind of
Okay, so get a friend. Got it.
so first you need a friend.
Okay, yeah. Well, Jody, this was just the best ever.
I agree. It was
Yeah,
so
uh,
fun.
and it is so true that like doing the live conversations instead of the virtual ones is always a lot more fun. So thank you
Yeah.
for being here. Thank you for
Thank you
trusting.
for letting us
Like,
come to your new
right?
house.
Yeah, you showed up. Like I could have been a serial killer. This is the first time we met.
I
And
brought
you brought
Jesse.
your
She
child, and we want to
was
give
so
you
fun.
opportunity to plug whatever you want to plug. If you get and share your, I mean, a lot of we'll have information on our any kind of comment section or like
Oh,
description or
cool.
episode notes where people can find you. But maybe they're have a photographic memory and prefer audio, like hearing your stuff. So
Yeah,
tell us what you want to
please.
plug if you have any upcoming things, and just whatever you want.
That is so cool. Thank you, Drew. This has been so much fun. Like I said, I love talking about comedy and especially with a new friend in
Yes.
Nashville. And we love the Nashville comedy scene. So it's been really cool. Yeah, please follow me on social media, Jody Carroll Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. I'm also on Facebook. Um, I have, look for my dry bar when it comes out, probably in a couple months, like 2 to 3 months,
I thought you were gonna say
2 to 3 years, whenever it comes out. Yeah, I can travel. I like to do my own travel arrangements, flights, and hotels and stuff. So if you're looking for a clean comedian to book, I can cover all my own travel expenses. So really open to that.
That's a sell for a lot of bookers, honestly. In addition to finding Jody on all of our socials and her website, and just showing up to her shows or booking her to come to you and then go to her show then. We also want to encourage you to keep up with the Clean Comedy Collective. We
Yes.
have a website, cleancomedycollective.com. That's where you can find your new favorite comedian. We have a bunch of them. Jody's on our Michigan section. Nope, she's not. She's on our Washington section.
And Michigan,
In Michigan, I don't know, just
the big house.
just big northern states.
Yeah, that's right.
Mix them up.
Some are cold.
So she's on our Washington section, so you can check her out more there. You can also see what kind of upcoming Clean Comedy Collective shows we have. You can also, if you're like, man, this is so much fun. These guys are great. I want to give them all my money. You can join the Patreon, which lets you get to hear longer episodes earlier, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool. And then if you're a comedian and you're interested in being part of the Clean Comedy Collective, there's like a submission and application that you can fill out, and that's how you kind of get connected to what we're doing. And I always feel like I'm forgetting something but if you go to the Clean Comedy Collective
And
website
follow Drew.
and
He's
follow,
got big shows coming up too.
I
So,
do.
yeah.
In March, I don't even know I know I have shows in March. I can't remember what they are right now, but if you go to drewdaviscomedy.com, you'll figure it out too. So, but yeah, thank you
So
so much for
fun. That
being
was a
here, Jody.
blast. Really a blast.
This is a great chat, and we hope to chat with you all next week. Have
Yeah.
a good one. All right, bye.